Hi and welcome back. I'm going to show you how I trim my large pom-pom that I have previously made with my Clover USA 3 3/8 inch pom-pom maker. So in a previous video I showed you how I make the pom-pom, and now I'm going to show you how I trim it. So I have the scissors that I use to trim. These are Scotch titanium scissors. They are fabric cutting scissors. You could probably find them at Joann's or Google them and get them off Amazon Prime. I have an ice cream bucket for the sake of catching the trimmings. And so what I do is I wrap the tail around my hand like so to keep it out of the way. It would be a shame to cut that. So you can see that it's a little bit rough around the edges. What we're going to do is trim it so that it is as circular and symmetrical as possible. So I'm going to start by just channeling my inner stylist. And I just go around like so. And I don't go like this and trim a huge bunch. I just, trim on the outside because less is more, and you can always trim more, but you can't untrim. That's important because if you trim too much or take a huge chunk out of one side and you're like, oh man, I have to do that on the other side, you just don't want to go there. You don't want to have that issue. So you're just gonna, and I like to pet my pom-pom with my scissors quite a lot. Just to fluff it up and even it out and see some strands that maybe I missed. And you can see it's already starting to take more of a circular shape. And look, there's not much fluff down there. I'm not trimming it too much. Go around. I like to do it from the side mostly, because that's where I find my pom-poms when I first take them off my pom-pom maker end up being a little bit more on the oval side. I don't really know why that is. It probably has something to do with how I wrap it, the tension on my pom-pom maker, but I just get oval pom-poms most of the time. So it's still a little lopsided. You can see that, this is a little bit more fluffy. Gonna trim and fluff, and I take, goodness, each pom-pom at least 15 minutes, probably more depending on how gnarly it is to trim these bad boys. So it is a labor of love. It takes patience, sharp scissors, and just some people like really round, fluffy pom-poms. Other people are okay with more of a shaggy looking pom-pom. It really doesn't matter what other people think. If you like your pom-pom a little more shaggy, a little more on the oval side, that's totally up to you. This is not how you have to trim it. This is how I trim it. And sometimes I like to shake it out. See what I need to do or what I want to do to shape it a little bit more. Alright. Don't really know if there's any more I can add for commentary, but I'm going to just keep showing you how I trim this and shape it. I like to turn it upside down a little bit, trim the bottoms. To keep spinning around and around. Alright, so there's a little bit more on this side I can do. Fluff. No, this, I can't count how many pom-poms I have made in the past. And I don't really know when it started clicking for me making pom-poms. and when they really started turning out for me the way I liked them, I probably made hundreds and hundreds of pom-poms for my hats, and a lot of them have not turned out well. Beginning ones are shameful to remember, but we learn by practicing, and we may never get the absolute perfection that's in our mind, but that's because we are human, and it's nearly impossible to achieve any sort of perfection. But I have learned to like my pom-poms, even when there are subtle flaws that I can pick out that maybe someone else wouldn't notice. Pretty close to where I want to be, I think. Who knows? I might turn off the video, see a spot I missed, and be like, oh, well, I guess I have 10 more minutes of trimming. Hopefully that's not it. So let's shake it out. A little bit more off the top. There we go. And also something I need to remember is this is not actually the final trim of my pom-pom. I'm going to get it pretty much to where I want it to be, and then I'm going to attach it, and I'll show you the method of how I attach it in a different video when I have a hat to attach this pom-pom to. But the way I do it, I'll be trimming it just a tad more again after I get it on the hat and shake it up and make sure it's secure on the hat. So if you don't get your pom-pom